Taylor Swift is declaring, I am nobody's dragon girl.
Because it just shows you how vain Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are. Like, should we just extort her to make a statement in support of us so people don't realize that we're not there and we're not friends with her? Yeah.
Miss Lively had requested that Miss Swift delete her text messages with Miss Lively.
A very strong record of the truth. He loves to drop the receipts. That's why the public is on Justin Baldoni's side in the first place.
The latest twist in the Blake Lively versus Taylor Swift courtroom chaos has dropped jaws in Hollywood. A-list royalty just flipped sides. That's right, a former ally of Blake and Ryan has officially submitted a statement to the court that directly supports Taylor Swift's camp, and you are not ready for who it is. We're talking about someone so deep in their inner circle, so let's get into it and know what happened and how.
Counsel for Taylor Swift and a partner at Venable had received a phone call from Michael Gottlieb, counsel for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, during which Mr. Gottlieb requested, on Miss Lively's behalf, that Taylor Swift make a social media statement in support of Ms. Lively, given her absence from the Super Bowl that year, and stated that if Ms. Swift failed to do so, Ms. Lively would release 10 years, he puts that in quotation marks, of private text messages with Ms. Swift.
During the same 14th call, the individual told me that they had been informed that 4 or 5 months earlier, Miss Lively had requested that Miss Swift delete her text messages with Miss Lively.
Let's not get it twisted. This isn't some fluffy social spat over matching Met Gala gowns. This is lawsuit warfare with real allegations, extortion, witness tampering, and now whispers of a deeper Hollywood smear campaign against the world's biggest pop star. And suddenly, all eyes are on Scott Swift, Taylor's father, who's reportedly the dragon behind the curtain. After last month's subpoena bombshell, it's now clear that Scott wasn't just sipping sweet tea in Nashville. He was delivering receipts to the courthouse like they were Amazon Prime packages. We're talking digital logs, encrypted backups, and yes, possibly the infamous text from Blake telling Taylor to delete our old messages. Daddy Swift didn't come to play. He came to burn reputations to the ground with the fury of a billion-dollar tour in his back pocket.
Who was the person that very clearly after this Super Bowl thing got upset. Drum roll, please, you guys. Allegedly, Taylor Swift's father, Scott Swift. The individual also told me that they had been informed that Mr. Baldridge had accused Mr. Gottlieb of extortion and ended the call. Okay? I believe all of this.
Now let's talk about Ryan Reynolds, who many thought would dodge the drama like he dodges bad movie scripts. But honey, not this time. Sources close to the case say Ryan wasn't just aware of the alleged threat. He allegedly encouraged Blake to do what she had to do to stay in Swift's good graces. Ryan, say it ain't so. The man who built a brand on self-deprecating charm might now be dragged into court documents as a co-conspirator in the wildest Hollywood falling out of the decade. The same man who sells sell plans and gin with one-liners now might be writing deposition statements with redactions and regrets. If you thought Deadpool was chaotic, just wait until these transcripts hit the public record. The internet won't recover.
Because it just shows you how vain Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are. Like, it's February and Taylor Swift hasn't made a statement and they're like, oh my gosh, we were with her last year at the Super Bowl and we're not with her this year. And that looks really bad. So like, oh, should we extort her? I don't know. Like, should we just extort her to make a statement in support of us so people don't realize that we're not there and we're not friends with her? Yeah, that's a really good idea. Have our lawyer call her lawyer and extort her.
Here's where things get real spicy. Apparently, the motivation behind this so-called extortion attempt wasn't money. It was optics. Word on the legal street is that Blake and Ryan were furious that they weren't invited to join Taylor at the Super Bowl this year, especially after being seen together the year before. Imagine being so pressed about a sweet photo op that you allegedly threatened to leak a decade of private texts just to force a public "we're still friends" post. I mean, you can't make this up, but apparently someone did, and then left a paper trail. The voicemail from Blake's legal team to Taylor's, it exists. Brian Friedman says he's heard it, and if the court greenlights it, we might too.
And if you read the subpoena to Venable, it's very clear that he's specifically asking for a text message, which took place after this call, which would confirm that that was the nature of the call. So maybe they got off the call.
But hold on, let's rewind to where it all detonated. The turning point was February 14th, Valentine's Day, when Taylor's lawyer Douglas Baldridge received a phone call from Michael Gottlieb, Blake's attorney. The message? Support Blake publicly, or she'll go nuclear. The allegation? That Blake would release private text messages, some spanning back 10 years, that could destroy Taylor's image. And what was Baldridge's reaction, allegedly? He accused Gottlieb of extortion and hung up. That one moment may be the single thread unraveling the fake friendship facade, Hollywood politics, and public perception, all in one go.
To Nashville, okay, got her in touch with all the right people. And Scott took a percentage of the company that signed his daughter, 5% of the company that signed his daughter. Like, he's a financially savvy. You don't come around and try to play any game with a person that is financially savvy. He's so financially.
Since that call, the legal filings have gone into overdrive. Brian Friedman filed a request for a very specific piece of evidence, a text from Douglas Baldridge to a third party sent after that Valentine's Day call. That text, sources say, contains a direct summary of what happened, essentially confirming the entire alleged extortion attempt. So why hasn't the public seen it yet? Because Scott Swift allegedly intercepted it and delivered it to Justin Baldoni's legal team first. Yes, Justin Baldoni is still very much involved. And if you think he's sitting quietly in the corner, think again. Insiders claim he's now been given digital proof of witness tampering, possibly by Blake herself.
This is the exact message that you have to subpoena. And why is that relevant? Because if there is proof that Blake Lively told Taylor Swift to delete text messages back in December when she first filed this lawsuit, well, you only tell somebody to delete text messages that prove that the person in the other side of this case is telling the truth, right? So she's telling her to delete text messages that would disprove her narrative.
Enter the bombshell evidence, a forensic phone recovery of deleted messages that allegedly proves Blake told Taylor to delete everything in December, before any legal filing was public. That's witness tampering 101. And here's the kicker. You don't tell someone to delete messages unless you're afraid of what those messages say. So now the legal narrative has flipped. Blake's team was once thought to be holding the cards, but now they're playing defense. Hard. Multiple emergency motions have been filed to block message releases, citing privacy and irrelevance. But in the court of public opinion, that ship has sailed, boo. Remember how Blake used to be that girl in every group selfie? Well, the industry is going quiet. Selena Gomez reportedly unfollowed Blake on her burner account, and insiders claim that Gigi Hadid has gone cold. The Hollywood Whisper Mill says some brands are already pausing pending campaigns with the lively Reynolds machine, quietly waiting to see how this plays out. For a couple that's built an empire on their image, family-friendly, tongue-in-cheek, effortlessly cool, this is a PR landslide, one text away from a full avalanche.
You didn't threaten Taylor Swift, my friend. You kind of threatened an entire empire. The Eras Tour alone, according to Bloomberg, generated more than $4.3 billion for the United States GDP. Okay? $4.3 billion just for the United States. By saying, we're going to show you the real Taylor Swift, and you don't think that daddy or mommy dragon is going to wake up and be like, it's not going down like this? And he fired a shot straight at them. He wants them to know, even in filing the subpoena, that, yeah, we're working with them because nobody else would have this message.
And where's Taylor in all this? Well, let's just say the queen of strategic silence is doing what she does best, letting everyone else trip over their own narratives. She hasn't commented publicly, and she won't need to if the court keeps doing the talking for her. The Eras Tour is steamrolling through Europe. She's breaking streaming records, and the U.S. government literally credited her tour for boosting the GDP. Imagine trying to blackmail a walking economic engine.
We're going to have to believe that Taylor Swift is a sweet 13-year-old girl for the rest of our lives, okay? So roll up your sleeves, We're all Swifties now. You must respect game when you see it. And I completely respect this move that Scott Swift allegedly played.
But don't be fooled. Silence isn't weakness. Every piece of evidence that lands in Justin Baldoni's team's lap, every accidental leak, and every desperate legal filing from Blake's corner suggests Team Swift is playing chess while the others are playing TikTok trends. And while Blake's camp scrambles to control the narrative, Scott Swift is sitting back, sipping Tennessee whiskey, watching it all fall apart, possibly by design. Word is, he was the one who approached Friedman to begin with. Game recognizes game.
We get a statement from Michael Gottlieb, who is strongly denying that this took place. So I want to pull up his statement. Give me 1 second, which is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous that you want us to believe that Brian Friedman completely went for broke and lied to all of us. He responds and he says, "We unequivocally deny all of these so-called allegations, which are cowardly sourced to supposed anonymous sources and completely untethered from reality. This is what we have come to expect from the Wayfarer party's lawyers, who appear to love nothing more than shooting first, without any evidence and with no care for the people they are harming in the process. We will imminently file motions with the court to hold these attorneys accountable for their misconduct here."
Meanwhile, Blake's legal team is now in damage control mode. Michael Gottlieb released a fiery statement calling the allegations cowardly, anonymous, and untethered from reality. But come on, the room's on fire and you're holding the matches, bro. The deflection isn't working. The court is expected to rule on the subpoena request within the next 2 weeks, and if it's granted, we may finally see the digital smoking gun. The text that confirms the call, the threat, and the motive.
Taylor Swift is declaring, "I am nobody's dragon, girl. I am not your dragon. I've stayed quiet. I've stayed away. But girl, now that I'm getting dragged in this, you're about to get run over because I am not going to hold back." And I would bet you all of this was like, well, you got to do that. You got to serve me. Yes, here's the tip, but you didn't hear it from us. You got to push it. You got to push it.
And let's not forget the wild card, the media. Anonymous friends of Blake are already leaking spin stories to certain outlets, claiming jealousy, miscommunication, and even revenge romance drama. That's right. One outlet hinted Taylor was upset that Blake had grown close to a certain NFL star. Desperate much? You don't float high school rumors when you're winning a federal subpoena war.
Okay, so Blake and Ryan are reading this. They're freaking out. They understand now that Taylor Swift is not their friend. Okay, that Taylor Swift's dad is saying, "You want to go to war? Let's go to war." And what does this mean for Ryan and Blake? They probably should back down immediately because you are not winning a war with somebody that can inspire $4.3 billion for the United States GDP by going on tour. Okay, you're just not going to win that war at all.
But it's not just gossip. Real consequences are looming. If this goes to trial and the extortion claim holds, Blake and Ryan could face criminal exposure, or at minimum, catastrophic brand damage. Their family-friendly image could be shattered. Imagine pitching Deadpool 4, while the world's asking if your wife tried to blackmail Taylor Swift over a football game selfie.
Can't just delete the message and then it's over forever. And now people are going to wonder what that message was that you wanted deleted. And they're playing ball with Justin's camp. So you got to fold.
The Swifties, of course, are in full Avengers mode. They've turned courtroom sketches into memes, unearthed old interviews, and yes, even tracked down IP addresses tied to fake Reddit accounts defending Blake. When the fandom moves as a unit, it's not a vibe. It's a seismic shift. And right now, they smell blood in the water. The online war is heating up, and Blake's team clearly wasn't ready for the internet with receipts. So, where does this leave us? With a civil case possibly turning criminal, celebrity alliances collapsing, and Hollywood's friendliest couple suddenly branded as potential power abusers. As for Taylor, she's still writing breakup songs, but this time they may come with court transcripts. Buckle up, babes. The drama isn't over, it's just getting subpoenaed. This has been your Snoop Scoop, where the tea is nuclear and the NDAs are no longer safe. Stay savage, stay skeptical, and keep your receipts.